Now, immediately here to the right, we just turned the lights off, but turning them on. These are battery-powered lights. These are lights that are working off the battery, so you don't hear the generator running right now. If you left these lights on and left the theater, you're done. As far as you're not going to be able to turn the theater on anymore. The battery power would be drained. So you turn it on just for now. As soon as you turn on the generator, then you're fine. Then it's running off generator power. From right to left, let's review some more additional controls. Come with me here. We have our awning, extend to retract button. This unit here is for the awning. It also is a wind sensor, so if there's a lot of wind happening, it's going to automatically bring your awning in. That's very important to have. You also have a little remote control for your awning, so if you're outside and you want to extend or retract it, you can utilize your wireless remote control. And then you have the two more lights here. One is going to be your light that's going to show outside, and that's the light that broadcasts to the outdoor setting. It's the big halogen lights. And then you have one more inside switch which will control your sign light. Everything is labeled when you receive your theater, so you know exactly what light is what. And then your three lights here are controlling two inside for inside lights, again emergency lighting, and then the third one is your patio light, which is the door light right above the door. So those are your three, and again they're all battery operated. Then we got the door right here. This is leading to your storage area, where some of you may even sleep at night. You go in here, you put all your storage in this unit. You have your fire extinguisher easily accessible from this area, and that's storage area also accessible from the outside. On the other side you have your spare tire area, and then another area for various controls that are inside there. We also keep a smoke detector inside, and right around, if you reach over here to the left, you'll feel a switch. That's your light switch, so you can light up your storage area. Continue on the left, and we have our branding television. Again, nothing's on it right now. Two outlet strips right here. There may be a time where you may need to plug in more devices. I recommend just getting either another little switch or running the power down underneath here. I don't want a lot of clutter. Right now it looks clean. I brought my Tic Tacs on board. I have another computer, a little piece of paper. This is clean. We do not want more power strips laying on this because it looks cluttered, and I don't like the cluttered look. I'm sure you don't either. So don't put a power strip here for more things. If we see that, we're going to ask you to put it underneath. And then continuing along here, you have your carbon monoxide detector. If this ever goes off, you need to evacuate. We have our switch here for fuel, diesel, start generator, and then your three lights, which are all for your club, the effect lighting. You have your up lighting for your rope lighting up. You have your rope lighting underneath your seats. That's the blue lighting, and then your club lighting. So we'll go ahead and start everything up. This is your few switches. Everything should be in the off position. Now you're going to start it. You're going to start the generator, pressing down to preheat. Depending on the weather, hot, cold, or how long since you last started it, you may need to preheat for a good amount of time. And then when you're ready, you'll press it up to start the generator. And then you'll hear it click on. Sometimes you may click it on and then 3 seconds later it shuts down. Don't get scared. It's just preheating. Again, depending on the weather, time of year, how long you had started it, just do it again. Repeat the process and then you'll get going. Once you hear the click over, give it a few seconds, you'll start up, turn the main power on, and then slowly start turning everything on. The reason why we don't fuse it with everything, like one button turning everything on, because it's going to send a surge of power to the generator and it could shut it or trip it. So what we're trying to do is just easily start loading up the generator. So maybe you're going to start with your TVs. If it's heat, you need to turn the heat on. And in this case, we don't have any heat. Everything is clearly labeled here on exactly what you need to do. Are you running the ACs, any plugs, you have your rope lighting. Everything is labeled so you know exactly what you need to have on. Once you slowly bring everything on board, you can start turning things on. Here's our lighting. We have the club lights. They just went on. My rope lighting up. That's the yellow lighting. And then if you look underneath the chairs, we're going to turn on the blue lights. That's the blue rope lights. and those are the 3 different types of lights. And then depending on what else options you received, you have your photo printer on board. It should be located right here. The power's ran to the center outlet. And then your pucker powder machine, which is located here. Let's review a couple more functionalities of our theater. We have our thermometers, our thermostats. They're right here on the wall. They are on and off. Make sure that even though when you turn your theater off at the end of the doing events, you need to also make sure that this power switch is turned off, and now he just turns it on, and it could be running on cool. Make sure you turn it off because some of them are also drawing from the battery, so make sure you turn them off. Continuing on, you have your seats, and going to your first unit. Each unit is the same, revealing Xbox 360, PS3, the Wii, and then underneath your video switcher, and then the amplifier control that controls the sound. Remember that each unit is controlled sound separately. Not each chair, but each unit. And again, we have 4 units inside. Self-contained has 3. All your Wii controls are located here. Xbox underneath. We keep PS3 underneath in our storage container section because we don't use it a lot right now. But there is plenty of room in the Xbox section if you want to put the controls there, but I think it's too much right now. And then you have your Sense systems. They're powered. Again, they don't have Sense. Our Sense we keep in the drawer and we keep them covered to preserve them. You won't need to replace them very often. Continuing on, you have your heat. The thermostats only control air condition, not heat. So don't turn it up to 80 and think that you're going to get heat. When you need heat in the winter, you don't use your air, you're only going to the heat. You go to your switch, you turn heat on, and then you come down here and crank it from 0 to 10, depending on how much heat you need. Certain theaters we build with 2 heaters, and some we build with 3, depending on where you are. If you have 3 heaters, then you probably only need to run those 3 heaters during the time that you're warming up the unit. Don't use any of the other lights or power. Use your heaters, because 3 heaters will send enough power to the generator. Then once it gets warm, go down to maybe 1 or 2 heaters and then turn your electronics on. That's it as far as the rest of the unit. You have your air conditioner. This unit that we're in today has 3 air conditioners. It also has a souped up generator. It goes to 12,000 kW instead of just 8. The units repeat. Here's the extra thermostat for that 3rd air conditioner. Most of your units will not have that unless you've decided to upgrade. And then finally, the last switch is the one here on the back wall. And it's again one that you want to make sure is off. It's also battery operated, the on-off. This is controlling the light that's on the outside of this door here, the door that's the ramp door. Make sure that you have that off. Why would you turn it on? You would only turn it on if maybe you're at an event, this back door is down, and it's lighting the area. That's all. Make sure it turns off otherwise. Looking at the unit, the only other things you need to know about are trap doors. We have 2 areas where we're doing trap doors. One are underneath the consoles in this area here. This is where all the plugs, the outlets are. So if something's not turning on, you want to get down here, open your door, try to see if anything came loose in transit. We do push everything in tight and make sure and strap everything down. There's a good possibility, especially when you're traveling across the country. So these are your trap doors to make sure that everything is continued to be plugged in. The other trap doors are located under the seats. There's not storage down here, so don't think you're going to store anything down here. These doors are used and they're all riveted out. You do not need to go in here. The only reason you would need to go in is if the seats weren't vibrating. Maybe it's possible that something came unplugged. But your trap doors are underneath the middle of each seat. Again, don't go there unless you need to. And there's no reason to open it because you're not going to store anything. That's it. The only other thing is the headrests. Some people love them down. Me, I love to keep these up. I think they look better. There's a little button on the left-hand side when you're looking at the headrest to the left, and it goes up, and then it's just like your seat at home. You could take these out too to clean them when you want to clean the seats. When you want to clean up here and make sure the dust is down. And then you put it right in, and you can control the level of them. Again, for the taller people. I think it looks good providing some height to it and creates that, but for most of you, you may want to just keep it right down. And lastly, you have these beautiful wires. I mean, really, it was genius. You controlling for the band games, like one with microphones, instead of running a wire from here as you're singing to the actual console, that creates now a safety hazard. So we have these beautiful wires that you could put the microphone in here. This is a female. You plug it in. The wire is going through here and comes out on this end here. Now you can go into the Xbox, you can go into the Wii, you can go into the PS3, and now you don't have to run the wires. So that's another one of the pluses, benefits, to having our unit installed with those wires. I'm looking around. I think you now know everything about our theater. You know the functionality of it. So you're ready to take the quiz. So sit back, take the quiz on the different functions of our theater, and see how you do.